in the base between the baseboard and the wall.
He electrifies the door.
He electrifies the door in a very ingenious way.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a feeling that when he did that, once you plug that in, death.
Yeah.
That's my guess. But
and then the most simplest of all traps.
Just shaving cream on the
at
ground.
the front of the door.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta tell you, Home Alone stole from Wes Craven. I'm just calling it right now.
Well, 3 movies he did had booby traps in them before Home Alone came out. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, do the math.
Mm-hmm.
So she takes Weasel outside.
Takes Weasel out. And
ties him up.
He's just like, because they cut again, like, this is more cutting.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I can do this. She's just like, she says, like, she repeats it again, like, can you do it with my hands behind his back? And he goes, yeah, I could totally do that. And then the cut, and then they come back, and she's like, but that's just a girl fantasy. And he goes, fucking Christ, God damn it. And he pulls off his tie and says, do it. So she ties him up, and she unzips him and gets caught.
His nuts get caught. Marries him.
Exactly. They referenced that in the fucking commentary. He's like, this movie was so far ahead of its time. It was fucking 30 years before this shit happened. So she's just like, oh my God, look at the little thing. And she's
it's
like,
not that little.
We'll get to that in a minute. But she goes, what should I do? Should I just yank it? He goes, no. Ease it down. Ease it down. Ease it down. She goes, oh, poor little thing. He goes, it's not little. You just scared it. Give it a minute. So then she goes down. And she literally goes to town. She's down there and going, and he's just like, oh my God, I'm gonna come. And she's like, he's like, you should stop. And she goes, well, you can do it. And he's like, yeah, I can do it 5 or 6 times if you want me to. So he literally says, I'm about to, oh my God, she grips some fucking grass and and he screams because she bites it off.
Mm-hmm. And he's done for the movie.
You see her fucking grabbing a hold and fucking shaking her head like a dog. She's holding onto his belt buckle, by the way.
Right.
Or hit the loop of his belt. And then she spits it, like you can't tell, but she spits it in the water, by the way.
Yeah.
And at one point, literally spits it on the ground and pushes it into the water. So, just so you, in case you don't know, she bit it the fuck off. So he's down for the count. He's out.
Yeah, he's out for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
We do not see Weasel again.
Well, I'm assuming he bleeds to death.
No, that's the assumption, assuming. But we don't actually see the actor.
Yeah, but my guess is that's what happened.
Yeah, he bleeds to death.
Yeah, so, based on that screaming, fucking Krug and Sadie go, what the fuck just happened? And the doctor was already standing there with the shotgun. And they're like, oh, Jesus, hey, Doc, what's up, Doc? Literally says that. It's like, what are you doing with that thing? Blah, blah, blah. And he's moving his hand. And he's like, be careful, don't do anything I wouldn't do. And he grabs the light, the cord of the light, yanks it so that the lights go out, and then the one shot of the shotgun goes, he misses Krug, runs out, and then fucking Krug chases after him. And then it gets just sort of weird, because
they have the most
Sadie
awkward fucking fight.
Yeah, it's very 70s sci-fi, because there's karate chops, it's just awkward, and then basically Krug clearly is just like, you're not gonna fucking hurt me. You're an old man. Fuck you. He sees Mary on the couch, which, by the way, is why they went outside to fuck.
Right.
Because Fred, Weasel, said to the mother, like, let's go to the couch, but Mary's body's on the couch, so that's why she says outside. I forgot about that. So Krug sees her and she's like, oh, look at her. Like, oh, this is where she is, whatever. And then says to him, like, like he's punching him and just like, she was hard to kill. You're a little bitch. And then, where the hell, what happens here?
Junior saves John.
Right. Junior.
With a gun.
Junior pops up, fucking takes
leave him alone!
Leave him alone, whatever. And then, in one of the other most powerful scenes in the fucking movie, Junior's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna kill you. And Krug's like, oh, are you? Cock the fucking thing back, and he literally tells him how to do it. He's like, do it. Like, pull the fucking hammer back, hold yourself steady, and everything like that. And he's like, yeah, you're not going to do it. I want you to turn the gun around. And Junior's saying, no. And he said, put the gun in your mouth, and I want you to blow your brains out. And he's screaming, blow your brains out, blow your brains out, blow your brains out. And then he does. He fucking blows his head off.
Which is something they don't do in the remake.
No, they do not. And Krug.
Also, thanks, guys. You named that character Justin, so thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I thought about that the last time I watched that, too.
Thank you for that.
The weird thing is, though, when he fucking does it, Krug looks disappointed.
That he did it?
Yeah, Krug has a look on his
Like,
face.
I thought you'd be tougher and just kill me.
No, I think he's literally disappointed that his son's gone. Like, if you look at his face, he's unhappy that this happened. You would think, considering this is what he wanted, he'd be cool with it. My question is, what in the fuck was John doing during this?
Recovering, because he got the shit.
Yeah, that's right. He did kind of get the shit kicked pounded out of him.
He was all battered and bruised.
Yeah,
and he was basically, if Junior didn't run in with the gun...
he's going to get the shot, the fucking chainsaw.
Well, yeah. Now he is. Yeah. Like, now he stumbles into the basement.
Yeah.
Pulls out the chainsaw and just awkwardly walks towards...
Well, there's a reason why he's awkwardly walking
because it's a real chainsaw?
Yeah. They didn't know how to make a fake one.
So, like, Krug / David Hess is for reals putting up furniture and, like, don't kill
By the
me.
way, in socked feet on a hardwood floor.
Yeah.
So he's slipping and sliding all around the fucking place. They don't know what to do. So they're just making it up as they go along,
So it looks awkward because we're really using real power tools here, folks. So
death could happen, and they're not going to not do that. So
wouldn't be the first time someone's died making an exploitation film.
Exactly. So what ends up happening also is right before shit gets on, the Sadie runs, and it looks weird because she jumps in, but she's supposed to not see the pool there. Yeah. That's what that's supposed to be. But she jumps in, so it doesn't look right. It looks like she jumped in the pool.
But it looks like she's supposed to stumble in the pool, but it looks like she went, oh shit.
Yeah.
Cannonball.
Exactly. She kind of jumps in, but she's supposed to not see it and sort of slip in.
Yeah, but if you do that,
I'm aware.
She'll break an ankle or something.
But no, not necessarily. You could run and keep running and just fall in.
I don't think she was confident in
I guess, but the weird thing is
her method acting.
But if you look at it, it's day for night, so it's broad daylight.
Yeah.
So she should be able to see it fine and do it, but I guess they're just not going to take that chance. She jumps up and gets her throat slashed.
Because I think Estelle tackles her. They fight for a bit.
They fight for a minute.
And then she runs off, falls into the pool.
Yeah.
Estelle sees the knife, grabs it, jumps into the pool.
And slashes
at the same time she's slashing Sadie, John kills Krug with the chainsaw.
No.
Oh, he gets electrified.
That's when he gets electrified. And then they're fighting with the chainsaw, and then the cops finally show up. They finally get there, and they're just like, Doc, for the love of God, don't. But then he does. He stops for a minute, weighs the options, and then says, fuck it, and Krug's face is now chainsaw feed. And then that's when Mother shows up again, and then they sort of rest, and then it's freeze frame, and we're done here.
Yep,
and the road leads to nowhere.
The cops slowly take the chainsaw away, freeze frame on Estelle and John, which
broken.
I think they do.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of exploitation films end with a freeze frame.
Yeah, and the idea behind this has always been like, normal people having to do horrible things
because they look broken.
Yeah,
they've lost their little girl. Yeah. They've killed these people. Yeah, they've had the most horrible 3 nights, I think, 2 nights.
Yeah.
Of their entire life, and this is what a broken
this is what happens when
like.
Shit like this happens. Is somebody's fucking broken.
As far as ratings go, I think I'm gonna go with a 6. Road leads to nowheres out of 10. It's not. It's an okay movie, in my opinion. I know you. It's going to be.
We'll get there.
But I think what I found most jarring was the music choices and where they placed it. Again, if they would have flip-flopped the cops with the kids and the cops with the chicken truck, that would have helped it a lot. The acting isn't that great, but I guess that's not a fair criticism.
No. Most of them weren't actors, really.
No, but you're still making a movie. And at the end of the day, you're still making a movie.
Are you, though?
Well,
it's a fucking exploitation film of the 70s. Any asshole who shows up, really.
Either way, I'm not giving it a horrible.
Sure. No.
I think 6 is fair for me.
Sure.
And as far as
no. We'll get to that after. Let me talk first. So my rating on this is actually 8 willows out of 10, just because I fucking love this movie. Yeah. I've stated before in the past when we've done horror films like that, I think because I'm more of a horror fan, I'm more willing to look past bad acting because it's kind of a staple in the horror genre. But I've always loved this movie from the moment I first saw it. There's so many shots in it that are just so fucking powerful, and yeah, it's fucking disgusting and it's ugly, but that's its charm, I think. I think that's sort of the point to it. And if you're into that kind of thing like I am, I think you're hard-pressed to find any other film that kind of does take you to that fucked up a place. There are a handful of others that I think actually do go a little too far. Like I said, I Spit on Your Grave is one of them, where it's like I would never put that in my favorite films at all. But I think this film just fucking works for me. And like the jarring moments that you said don't bother me as much. Do I think they're out of place? Absolutely. But I understand what they're trying to do, and I can also I have an easier time, I think, putting myself in the headspace of you have to do that. You know what I mean? I think that's where I am.
One thing, but them still ultimately failing is where the criticism could fall.
Yeah, no, but but that's the thing. As I've stated before, I don't look at it an ultimate failure. I think that's, I think that they weren't successful in what they were trying to do, but I would say it's far from a failure. I wouldn't call
somewhere in the middle.
It's somewhere in the middle. Yeah, the Ada Washington. It might just be because I've seen it so many times that I just don't think the Ada Washington thing bothers me so much.
Well, we're gonna run into these somewhat disagreements.
Yeah.
In the future.
Yeah, ironically, I found, and this actually goes into last week, I found this a lot less jarring than I found the fucking preacher scene in Vampire in Brooklyn.
Right.
The Ada Washington one was a lot less jarring. Because it had already been set up. You know what I mean?
Well, set up as in like they were.
As in there was comedy already involved. Right. It didn't just come out of fucking nowhere.
This was like
it's like
you had comedic characters, but not a comedic scene.
Yeah,
I get it.
So I think it works a little stronger. That's all.
Again, ultimately, our ratings aren't too far away from each other. It's not like I'm like this is a 2.
No,
movie
God, no.
Everybody in it. No, it's still a 6 for me, and which is still a great
good.
Above half. Yeah. So
I just wanted to point it out because also, as I stated last week, this is one of those things where, yeah, this movie is fucked up and messed up and is really rough and everything like that, but I do believe it is important.
Ultimately,
yeah, as far as that goes.
I say it's good, you say it's great, but ultimately we both agree that it's an important film.
Yes, it absolutely is.
In the history of film.
Yes, and that was one of the reasons why I insisted we cover it. Yes, and I think this is why I insisted we cover it, even though it's like, yeah, this is an awkward fucking movie to talk about. Because I think it needs to be, I think the movie is sort of falling by the wayside, and I think people are sort of ignoring it now. Whereas even though our little fucking rinky-dink show isn't hitting that many people, I still want to put it out there of like, if you want to watch something fucked up and you want to see where, horror movie is evolved from like, this is a nice stopgap between like the old school campy horror to legitimate film, I guess you could say.
Plus, I think, ultimately, the goal of this show, at least for us, is we're going to be talking about movies that we want to talk about. Mm-hmm. So at least we have it on wax, on record, that we got to explain and gush, in this case for you, over movies. Mm-hmm. Like, at least I now have this thing on the internet where I finally get to state publicly my feelings about this movie.
And I mean, that's it. Like,
which is what I think this podcast is.
This is all this
why
has
we
been.
Created it.
Yeah, this is us just going like, oh my god, this movie's great. Here's why, and here's what I love about it. And this is, for me, this is one of those movies where it's like, it's one of those, if you're outside of the horror genre, you've never fucking heard of this. And I just want to point out, like, this is such a great fucking movie and such a good first effort for a nobody director at that time to become a thing,
Trust me, give it about a month from now, I'll be able to gush over my own movies. Mm-hmm. So again, this is why we're here. As far as MVPs, was gonna go with Krug, but I think I'm leaning more towards Weasel.
Okay.
I think he's a great second in command. Mm-hmm. I think he has some of the better lines in the film.
Sure.
And I do enjoy that scene where he gets his comeuppance.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's one of the things I love about it is like nobody gets away scot-free. You know what I mean? Then nobody's happy by the end of it.
But he gets it.
He does get it like 9 times as hard.
Arguably the worst.
He does. I, however, will give it to Krug because that motherfucker. I hate him. Which is
that
is the ultimate effect,
that's the best compliment you can have to a protagonist,
and that's the thing. Like,
or an antagonist.
I fucking can't. I hate him. Every fucking fiber of his being, I hate him, and that's not a thing for me. Like, I don't get that emotional about movies, but this motherfucker does it.
Where you're just like, kill him, John.
And as you know, I'm a fucking fan of villains. but I hate this asshole.
Yeah.
And that...
So that speaks volumes to David Hess's performance,
Yeah.
however brutal it may be.
He did an amazing job, because as I've stated many times, I'm an obsessive fan of Freddy Krueger. My apartment is littered with Freddy Krueger stuff, and he is an evil villain. I also have a tattoo of the Joker. Like, I like sadistic